Hulo. Hulo Bulo. How you doing? Hula Bula. How's it going? And I have a rather pleasant idea. I don't know how many people would have done. I'm not sure if this was ever done on YouTube, but I wouldn't mind being the number one. But I wouldn't mind being the first one to do it. I would like to show some of my favorite or things that I've seen movies from Disney Plus. So walk with me and talk with me as I show you some of them. Ones that I've either seen and liked, or some of the, yeah. So if you don't mind, I'd like to do a Disney Plus movies update, and I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, so may the Disney Plus movie update begin. Opening the door, turning off the light without jamming my hand in there. And here we go now. First of all, right off the bat, let's bring it up. Okay, The Nightmare Before Christmas is definitely a fave. I don't have this. I do have this on DVD, and amazingly, this is my favorite. This is a favorite of mine because of the plot, of the plot line being Halloween, and Jack Skellington, and Jack Skellington being the surprise bad guy trying to go good. I mean, he's not a bad guy, but he has this epic journey, and of discovering Christ, in discovering Christmas, and really just being a Grinch, because it's not a good. It's a great plot. It's a good movie, but I'm not gonna tell you. But I'm not gonna lie and tell you that it didn't suck. But I'm not gonna lie and tell you that it sucked. That it didn't suck in a few areas. The Easter rabbit being in there, being just a holiday joke, which is very rugged and stupid, and I can't believe they even did that. It was such a no-brainer. Like, it's bad enough you put Santa. It's bad enough you put the Road to Christmas in there, because it's not really supposed to be about Christmas. It's supposed to show how important Halloween and Christmas actually is, but it's not supposed to be reflected on a Christmas while being a Halloween movie at the same time. And that, I'm not gonna lie, is Tim Burton did a good thing with that, but secretly, I'm surprised that he didn't think of, like, he wanted to go with the Grinch. He kind of wanted a Grinch feel to this, and I can understand that, but totally not working for this thing. It's supposed to be like like if this was the Addams Family, uh, I would I would totally not want to see the Ariel, the Little Mermaid in an Addams Family movie. You know, it'd be the same idea, the same sort of thing. Now, Hocus Pocus 1. Okay. Now, 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 now amazingly enough, Hocus Pocus is like my every childhood dream I had about witches. And, it's sad. And it has a sad, and it has a straight off positioning of my kind of witches, the kind of witches that, like Bette Midler and so and so doing these guys, these women. To me personally, are the witches that I used to dream of in my room at night when I was a kid, and they look even better in this movie than they ever did in my nightmares as a kid, because they were in there, but now but now there's a movie on this called Hocus Pocus. Very fantastic film. For the holiday of witches, and it's a much larger brought to life of technically all around. It's like the Hocus Pocus 2, which I'm gonna bring up in a second here. But it's not even half as good as this first one here, Hocus Pocus. I smell crocus. Now Hocus. Now Hocus. No. Now Hocus. Hoka. Now Hocus Pocus Crocus 2 is still sort of the original, but it's a little weak. But in my opinion, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, it's better. I'm surprised I'm saying this, but it's better than the first one in a couple areas. It's not the best in the concept of we get to see them as kids and stuff. But it's not my favorite, but it's not actually better than the first one in a few areas, how they got to be witches, and it's like the Ghostbusters, but instead of ghosts, witches, and it's a very fantastic movie. All on its own. It does not hold up near the end, but it holds up everywhere else in the movie, and of course, what they think is just normal kids, they're not, because the kids that bring them back are actually witches themselves, but they're more like modern day witches by comparison, and it's like a Goosebumps gone. It's like a Goosebumps that's featuring it's almost like a Goosebumps episode featuring all witches, and it's a fantastic, and it's a super fantastic one. I'm gonna. Now, I'm sure that a lot of people are going to remember this one here. The Nightmare Street. The Walt Disney's The Haunted Mansion. Believe me, if I haven't seen a better, no, if I had looked the full, like, this is the epitome of Eddie Murphy and his comical genius in a horror movie, in a Disney horror movie. Believe it or not, it's really surprisingly and pleasantly insane good. It doesn't hold up. It almost the way it starts off is that he is a flop. Is in a nightmare situation where his job isn't, like, he likes his job, but secretly he wishes he had something else. He's not getting proper respect really until they get this hotel, or not a hotel, this mansion, and he's still surprisingly not respected. But they have this family bond in this place that they never did in their own original home, and they all gotta get rid of the bad guy who's surprisingly not the villain. The real villain in this thing is really like nobody. It's just that a ghoulish misunderstanding, and the butler that owns the place, he's more the villain than your regular Disney villain, because he's creepy and he's not being very, he's throwing everything at them. And of course the grim ghosts are very grim and grinning. They're pretty terrifying, but it's like they just made a Goosebumps movie and didn't call it the Goosebumps movie. They called it it's like they made a Goosebumps movie in the Disneyverse, and that's pretty much my recommendation on that. Now I'm going to do something here. I'm gonna help you out here. I'm gonna get back to the hook me now. The Christmas Carol with a surprisingly Disney twist and a real Scrooge in this, and I think the more effective Scrooge, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's personification of Scrooge is like the worst. It's like the greatest. It's like basically the Alistair Sims Scrooge, but like way the blazes is. It's like Jim Carrey's Scrooge here in the case is pretty much the Alistair Sims Scrooge, but way more miserly. Like, he's, like, I'm not saying Jim Carrey is better, but he falls right in line with Alistair Sims because like Alistair Sims was is my favorite Scrooge, but I've had time to adjust to other ideas of what Mr. Scrooge would be like, and Jim Carrey surprisingly takes the punch from being the more sinister version of Alistair Sims' Scrooge, but still being very fantastic and scary, and scary as hell here. I'm surprised they really did. I'm surprised they made a Disney thing out of this. It'd be just as good if, like in my opinion, this would be just as good if you made this, if you turned this into black and white, and tried to do, and tried to Alistair Sims the entire thing, because that's what this is. You know, it's Alistair Sims, but in the Walt Disney World. Scrooge is like way more sinister than he ever was in. He's just as sinister in this as he was in the 50s one, but they made him even more miserly in this, and it's just too, you know, like Bob Cratchit in The Road to Christmas is like, maybe, I thought, maybe, a token is probably just the Disney version of what that 1950s thing was. But all in all, it's a fantastic thing. They really put a few miles on Jacob Marley there, but it's no different than the 1950s Scrooge, other than Scrooge is more sinister in this one. Like behind closed doors, Alistair Sims would look a lot like Jim Carrey if they put him in there. You know, like Jim Carrey is like he's not better than Alistair Sims, but he takes into the shadow of Alistair Sims, which is like really iconic and weird. Now the Santa Claus, Tim Curry, I almost said Tim Curry. It'd be cool if he did a Santa Claus version, but Tim Curry hasn't happened yet, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. Tim Allen as Santa Claus, or Santa Claus becoming Santa Claus. That's Believe me when I say this, this is better than any other Santa Claus movie in the verse, in the Santa Claus and North Pole verse. Not only not only does it still hold up today, it is a modern take version of what Santa Claus actually is, of who he actually is. But I have to be careful when I say that this holds up in areas where the real Santa Claus would have a little trouble. I'll put it this way. This gives you a more revealing look of who Santa Claus would be like really, if like in real life. If there, I'm not saying if there was a Santa Claus, because I know there was, but it'd be great if Santa Claus looked a lot like Tim Allen. You know, like in real life, because that would be like, holy smokes, like Santa. You know, like I'd be jumping out of my I'd be jumping out of my clothes. Sorry, I would be jumping up and down if I thought for 1 minute the real Santa Claus in real life looked a lot like Tim Allen, and believe me, he probably would if I had a chance to meet him, because Tim Allen looks a lot like the real Santa Claus if you think about it long enough. And it's a great movie. If anyone told you it was bad, they're not really looking at the movie. They're looking at the features, and the features, like, this is not a bad movie. It's just this is like the greatest out of all three of them. And trust me when I say this, this is like the Santa Claus movie of like, I mean, I almost want to say screw Alistair Sims. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. No. The Ghost of Christmas Past. Sorry. Future. The Ghost of Christmas Future is a Santa Claus figure. Believe it or not. And Tim Allen's got that guy beat by 100 times. So, yeah. So anyway, this was my